Alright guys, you should have picked up your camera, and what I want you to do is turn on your camera and take a picture in the room. That's it. Okay. We're going to pretend that you just took a picture of the room. Now I want you to turn off your camera, and we need to get those pictures off of the camera and onto the computer. So first I want to show you a little diagram about how to open up the door on the bottom of your camera and get the card and the battery out. So on the bottom of your camera you'll see this little door. You want to push gently in the direction of this arrow, and then the door will pop up. And underneath you'll see the battery, and above that you'll see the SD card. Now I want to point out that you need to put in the battery properly inside the camera, or you could ruin the camera. Notice that there's going to be metal on one end. You also see a plus and a minus on that end, and you need to make sure that that plus and minus match up to the diagram on the computer on your camera, and otherwise you could be damaging it when you're trying to shut the door and it's not going to insert all the way correctly into the camera. Above that we have the SD card. To get the SD card out, you just simply gently push on the top of it. It will pop up a little bit, and then you can take two fingers and slide it out. Again, with the SD card, you want to make sure that the prongs, like the metal parts of the SD card, are facing down, down in the direction of the battery before you insert it. Again, we don't want to break the camera by inserting the SD card incorrectly. And then once you've gotten your SD card out, you're going to insert it into your camera. And then you always have to make sure that you're getting this SD card out of your computer after you've transferred your files and back into your camera. I can't stress this enough. Alright, so let's pretend that you got your SD card out and you're ready you took that picture, so now you're ready to transfer it over to your computer. On the back of your Mac you will see an SD card slot, and you want to look at the back of your SD card. You'll see the metal prongs. Those metal prongs need to be facing down and going in the direction of the Mac. Okay, so the prongs should be facing down, and then you're going to be placing it into the back of the Mac. So I'm going to do that right now. I've got SD card number 9. I'm inserting it in the back of my Mac, and you should see the SD card icon appear. Okay, for some of you, you might not. And for whatever reason, some of them are showing it and some of them are not. If it's not showing up, I want you to go to your hard drive, and then on the left, I want you to see if you can find the device. Okay, so right now mine is named No Name, and I want to change that. So I'm going to right click and say rename No Name. Mine should be called Nikon 9 because I have camera 9. So if yours is not named correctly, check your camera and you rename it to the number that it's supposed to be. Okay. So after I've navigated to this on the left hand side, and now I can see what's on the card, and you should see a folder called DCIM. I'm going to double click that, and then you'll see one or more folders called 100 Nikon, 100, and it might go on and on depending on how many pictures you've taken. So I'm going to double click here for that picture I took in the classroom, and what I want to do is go to my photo folder, and I'm going to go into my computer technology folder, and I'm going to make a new folder called SD card. Alright, I'm going to open that up, and I'm going to drag that picture that I took of the classroom inside the folder. Now I'm going to right click that and say rename, and I want to rename it my first and last name underscore. I'm going to call this SD card, and then underscore today's date, 08/22/2018. Okay, now I have it here. It's on my computer. I no longer need it on my SD card because that was my photograph, and I don't want anyone else to get to my photograph. So I'm going to go ahead and click and drag that to the trash, and now it's no longer on this SD card. So I'm done transferring my imagery, so now I can eject my SD card. I could either do this by clicking and dragging. Notice that it turned into the eject button, or I could go back to my hard drive, find my device, and you'll also see the eject button here, or you could even right click and say eject. So I'm going to say eject here, and now I can safely remove the SD card physically from my computer, and then I need to insert that SD card back into my camera correctly.